Hey y'all, welcome back to another video. So today we're going to be going over my transition from Freebase e-juices to Nic Salts and sort of how it happened, how it's going, and how I'm enjoying it so far. So yeah, it definitely has been a journey because when I started vaping, it was a couple years ago, maybe probably a few by now, but I didn't actually start smoking first, which is ironic, but yeah, I think in a couple videos ago, in one of my vape videos, I'm pretty sure, I said that my first vape was one of the new Choco UL 2. It was the rainbow one. It was a stick. So that was the first vape I ever had. And that juice was Freebase, obviously, and it was 18 milligrams, if I remember correctly. It was 12 or 18. So that's what I was vaping back then. So it was a little bit higher, which is surprising that, I can't really do higher juices anymore. But so yeah, I started off really kind of up there, and I stayed up there for a while. I think the lowest that I ever bought for myself might have been 12 or 14, I think. Not 14, 12 or 16. But yeah, I didn't really have a common nick. I would just walk into the vape store and see oh, well, what will taste best with this one, or what'll taste best with this one, different ratios, different nicotine levels. I wasn't one of those people that were super picky about it. I didn't walk in and I was oh, I want caramel macchiato, 50/50, 15 milligrams. The only reason that I would ever be like that is if I know what I want before I get there, so then I can just go in there and be blah, 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 blah. That makes sense. But I don't know anything really about Nic Salt up until recently, because even when it was, still around, obviously it's always been around, but as long as vape juice anyway. But even back then, I didn't even touch it. I don't know why. I didn't go near it. I didn't ask questions about it. I didn't go to any of my friends or, anyone that I knew that was vaping Nic Salts at the time. I never asked them about it because I never saw myself doing it, I guess, in a weird way, even though they're, they both go in vapes, so I guess it was inevitable, I guess, but I never, I didn't understand it, so I didn't really even want to go near it, in any way. I didn't even want to look stuff up about it for some reason. But luckily, my stepbrother, who lived with us at the time, this was at my dad's house in the Hat, so it's a while ago, because I had a family back then. But he was living with us at the time, and he was into vaping, and he would do builds, and he would, build his own coils and stuff. So he did it, the actual way. He did vaping but in the work way. I just go to the store and I buy, I let them build the coil for me and then I just buy it from them. So I mean, that's me. I'm simple. I'm just hey, this is burnt, I need a new cartridge. So yeah, that's me. I do it the lazy way. He did it the actual way. But anyway, he was sort of the person I would go to if I needed to know anything or wanted to know anything, or didn't know anything. Sometimes he would just tell me stuff oh, there was someone in blah blah blah, their vape exploded because their batteries overheated, don't buy faulty batteries. Or oh, it can also explode because your batteries aren't the same wattage, they're not married properly. Little things that I didn't even really think about that could happen, he would just bring up sometimes. Or sometimes we would sit down and have full-blown conversations about it, or I would watch him build and, try and figure out how to do it. I would never be able to do it. I've even tried to watch video after video after video to try and get even a semblance of understanding on how to do it, but I can't. It looks very tedious, and I mean, I guess if you do it enough, and it becomes a routine and it's something you love, it's never work. But on the other hand, I just feel because it's so repetitive, even though it's something I love, I still feel eventually it would find a way to still get boring, yeah. I just don't know if I'd be able to do that personally. And like, my hands are shaky. I have too much caffeine in me at all times. I need like, and nicotine, I'm a little trembly anyway, so, and I don't have that money. Like, I go out and buy Camphor, buy all the little tools. Like, no, I do not have that money, okay? And plus, the closest vape store is like a, I don't know, 15-minute drive with traffic. So, yeah, I mean, it's not really, and guess what? I don't have a car. Brandon does, but I mean, he's at work all day. The only times he's free is on the weekends, and I'm not gonna be like, hey, let's go buy me a bunch of vape supplies. Like, no, I'm not, my lifestyle, not for me. If you do it, no disrespect, but yeah, I mean, like I said, no disrespect for those of you who do find it appealing, because I do honestly see the appeal of it. If I could do it, if I wasn't so shaky and nervous and trembly and, you know, wasn't so like, ooh, shiny, I would be able to do it. I would love to do it. It would be so therapeutic for me to just sit there and, you know, build a little assembly. But somehow I don't have the patience for that. I have the patience to build structures in Minecraft that take real months to complete, but I don't have the patience to build a coil. So, I mean, figures, right? But yeah, personal transition from Freebase to Nic Salt. I honestly, even though like I said, even though I never went towards Nic Salts in the past, I honestly prefer them so much more than Freebase juices now. Like, which is odd, because like, like I said, it's like almost uncomfortable for me to say that, because I've never even touched them. And now I'm just like, yes, I want Nic Salts, I don't want Freebase. I think it's mainly because you can fit like this much nicotine, like at such a high concentration, without getting all of that like throat hit and getting all of the, you know, the that everybody complains about in like high nic Freebase juices. And that's also another thing that I really liked. The only other throat hit that I felt from a Nic Salt was the mango one. Here, I'll go get it right now. This is the only Nic Salt that I've ever felt a throat hit from. Like, and it's, even though it's 35 milligrams, like even though the throat hit is present, it's still barely there. Like, the only reason why it makes me almost die every time is because I don't usually, like I said, up until now, haven't ever really vaped Nic Salts, other than, you know, when a friend, oh, you want to try some? Sure. Well, whatever. That doesn't really count though. Like, that's like 0.5 seconds of your life. That's not like, okay guys, I've had this for a week now. Like, it's not the same, you know? But yeah, like I said, the only reason why this one basically almost kills me is because it's so high. I'm just not used to it. Like, even though, like, I used to smoke cigarettes too, but I also haven't had those in however long. So, like, my nicotine tolerance is like kind of always all over the place. Because sometimes I'll use this one, sometimes I'll use this one, sometimes I'll use Brandon's pina colada one, you know? So, like I said, I don't have a set nicotine level. So I think these three numbers are probably the best ones for me to stick at. Brandon's pina colada is 6 nic, this is 35 milligrams, and this one is 15 milligrams. So I think I'll be fine at 35, 15, and 6. But anything other than those numbers, well, like, it's odd, because like sometimes I can't even vape Freebase. Like, sometimes I'll go to vape some of Brandon's Freebase juice and I'll just die because it's at 6 nic or something and I'm used to vaping 15. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me that I'm just like, oh yeah, give me a hit of that like pina colada, and then I'm just like like, I don't know, to me it just makes no sense. But I'm gonna try and try some more mango and try not die at the same time. So join me in that, will you? Right, and now we immediately know that I'm not going to be able to take that. So this does go up to 80. Sorry, 85, excuse me. But I can only like partially pull it through at 80. because it's so intense. Like, it hits your tongue, like not the Nic Salt obviously, but like the flavor of the mango hits your tongue first, and then as soon as you start pulling it back, it hits your throat, and then it's like it doesn't burn, it just like makes you cough, you know, it just like activates that reflex. I'm trying to soldier through it the best I can. I'm gonna see how long I can go, how many days I can go using this device without like completely murdering my lungs. But I can tell you one really good thing about this mango juice though, is that because it's 35 milligrams, you only need to take one puff like every 2 hours, you know? Like, oh, I just rolled my car into the ditch. All right, we'll be good for the next 2.5 hours. Or, oh no, I forgot the baby at the supermarket. All right, mom is fine. She'll be good until supper. You know, it's like situations like that in which it helps. Or, oh no, I forgot where to park. All right, good thing I have a panic button. Whereas the 15 milligram one is just like, oh, I just lost a round in Siege. That sucks. Or, she's taking another vacation. Honey, you know how long it's been since we've gone on a trip together? Like, minor inconveniences, this guy is for. Major inconveniences, this guy is for. Brandon and I were even talking about that last night. Like, he even asked me, he said, what would have to happen in order for the pink vape to basically become your regular one, like your go-to? And I was like, well, I think because it's so intense and because, you know, the nicotine is so high. I think I've said that about 100 times in this video now. But like, I feel like I would only use that, like the pink one, in like the most stressful of situations. Like, if we're, and I even said, like, example, if you and I are out walking on the river boardwalk downtown, anyone who lives in Calgary, shout out to you, you know what I'm talking about. And then, for example, I get mugged. You know, robbed, obviously. I don't think I had to explain that by now, but then I just, oh no, I got mugged. The only thing you can't take from me is my stress. Only I can take that away. You know, those kinds of situations. That's in where the pink one makes sense. And then to recover from the fool of yourself that you just made, you just take a few drags of this one to just slowly build up your courage and, you know, patience for the general public back. It's great, actually. Actually, really, that's kind of how I view Nic Salts. Probably why I'm kind of, you know, why I'm kind of reclusive, why I don't really talk to a lot of people, is because I sort of view it as like patience. It's because I can't deal with some people out in the public, okay? Like, I think all of us have like that certain group of people that we just cannot interact with on any level, because all we can do is, in response to them, is just roll our eyes. Like, there's some people that just come up to me and start talking, and I'm just like, oh my god. Like, obviously not in a mean way, but you know, like, y'all know what kind of situations I'm talking about here. Any kind of big city, these things occur in. But yeah, like, I sort of see this as my liquid patience. And if I go out in public and if I'm in a tense-ish situation, then, you know, just extend your patience and tolerance a little bit. It helps. It really does. So just give yourself like a couple seconds of therapy in the middle of a semi-stressful situation. Because, you know, giving yourself breaks, it lets you just take a step back and be like, am I being too much right now? I'm just going to be something else. I'm just going to take a hit of my vape and fade into the walls and fade into the background and just, you know, turn invisible. So whenever someone's like, take a chill pill, you can just be like, okay. So yeah, got a little bit, little off topic today, but oh well. So loosely, that was the story of my transition from Freebase to Nic Salt, largely fueled by the need for, just tolerance in some cases, but also really helps if you're somewhere like at a mall and there's a crowd, people with anxiety sort of view crowds as mobs. So that also helps a lot in public too, So you can just break away and be like, you know what? Instead of being part of this huge, giant, crowd of people, I'm just gonna go outside and take a few hits of nicotine and be cool doing so. But anyway, you guys, that was my Nic Salt Confessions of a Former Freebase User video. Hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, y'all know what to do. If you don't want to miss another upload, give that bell a ring for me. I love you all. Stay safe, stay classy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.